You're being called to write something. You're being called to sing something. But if you stay stuck in your normal routine, if you don't appreciate the chaos, well, good luck with that.
When you say you're studying people, and someone wants to go down the rabbit hole of learning to create these unfair advantages, because that's what I'm all about, right? How do we create science and data in our favor to create unfair advantages? Who are you listening to?
So in the various genres, spiritually, my main guy is Father Richard Rohr. He's out of Albuquerque. He's one of my spiritual mentors. We've spent time together. There's a litany of people in the spiritual world, but Richard's a live person. You can check him out. His idea of order, disorder, and reorder is one of the most compelling things I'm looking at right now, which plays right into your chaos patterns.
Tell us more about that.
So proving chaos. In chaos, there's some type of order underneath. Right now, we're in a time of chaos. I mean, even this morning, we're reading about Tulsa. This is horrific, what is happening. It feels dark, it feels empty. Some people feel abandoned. That is the chaos. When you're in chaos, which spiritually we call liminal space, liminal for threshold, in between and betwixt, that is where all transformation occurs. So the chaos we're going through right now is actually our invitation for the transformation to change. And what you're seeing, like what I've seen in police work with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter and defund police and all that, listen, it was very simple. People want to have a conversation. And to have a conversation, a true conversation, I got to think at least they're 10% right. And maybe I'm 10% wrong. At least to have some kind of give and take to develop that change, because then you're going to expose, what do I believe? This will tie into the mindset. Left to my own devices, it is a survive mind, not a thrive mind. It is my limbic system. It is fight, flight, freeze, feed, and fornicate. It's what keeps the species going. And that part of our brain is, depending on the studies you read, 3 to 5 times stronger than your, shall we say, thrive, sage part of your brain. So if you want to get ahead of that beast, you got to do, if my bench is 100, that bad boy's doing 500. So I got to get to 500 just to get even with that beast and then get ahead, which is why the presence work, what I do in the morning, what I do during the day is so important. That puts me in that better part of my brain so I can thrive and then bring what I'm called to do to this thing called the earth.
And so all of this is set up to get yourself into a place of center and a place of high performance. And you're just tilting the field in your favor by doing these things. And I love the whole notion of chaos as an invitation for growth, because I do see that. I only work with people who are open to change, because if you still think you've figured it out and yet you're talking to me because you're in some type of chaos, there's a lack of harmony there between what you're saying and what you're willing to do. And so it is an opportunity for growth. Pain is always an opportunity for growth.
Yes. So I did make a note. I don't know if anybody else did. You were asking me who I was listening to, and I only got into the spiritual end. So I wrote that down. And the other thing I wanted to throw out there, because I'm looking at Bill and Craig and Leanne and all these beautiful people, that whole pattern I mentioned of going deep to be your truer self, that is what we call the hero's monomyth. Joe Campbell, George Lucas, Star Wars, all that kind of stuff. That is everybody's invitation on this call right now. You're being called to go on your hero's journey. Are you heeding the call? And the heeding the call usually comes in something discomfortable. The interruption is the invitation. The chaos is actually the opportunity. It started in the mountains. It ended in the Aravalli Desert. Father Rich was sitting there and we were doing this traditional male initiation. He said, here's the bottom line, guys. You're just little pieces of shit. But you're God's little piece of shit. So like, you are a fraud. You are an imposter. You are all that. But there's something deeper than all that if you know how to access that. So call it spirituality, call it positive thinking, call it thrive mentality. I don't care what software to use to get there. but you can get there and then write your powerful verse. You're being called to write something, you're being called to sing something, but if you stay stuck in your normal routine, if you don't appreciate the chaos, well, good luck with that.